here we have the penultimate painting for block 1 of the Evolve Artist program, and it is two black cats facing each other, and they are so elegant. I love the lines on this line art. Just taping it down and then using my carbon paper to make the tracing, all of that preparatory material. Actually, before I did the painting for this assignment, I actually looked at it and I realized that I had no idea where to start. For some reason, I just kind of panicked a little bit because they're both black cats, and I was like, wait, there's no white in here. There's no light value. And so I emailed the instructors going, what do I do? Like, am I only supposed to use 2 values now? That doesn't sound right. Something's wrong. I knew that I had misunderstood something. And Piper was super helpful. She recorded a separate video just for me to show me what was going on. And I realized, okay, they may be black cats, but that doesn't change the system and the process that we learned, which is we always use the extreme shadow for the darkest shadow. We always use the extreme light for the lightest lights. And it doesn't matter that they're both black cats, because there are parts of the cat that are light and there are parts of the cat that are in shadow, and you just follow the process. And I don't know why that didn't make sense until she said it, and then it suddenly clicked and I was like, oh! But I'm really glad that they put this assignment within the lineup of all the different assignments that we do, because I bet I'm probably not the only person who got confused with the Black Cats assignment. But it really illustrates on a different level what the point of the process is. Like, it's not, even though I thought I understood the concept that the 2 shadow values of paint are for things that are in the shadow, that are literally in the part where the light doesn't reach, or cast shadow or form shadow. Those are the 2 shadows that we have. And then the 2 light paints are for anything that is in the light. But there was still a part of my brain that was thinking in terms of black and white. And you're not supposed to be thinking in terms of black and white. You're supposed to be thinking in terms of shadow and light, which is not the same thing. And I thought I got it, but then I came to the cats and I didn't know what I was doing. And then I emailed the instructors and they were super helpful. And now I think I have a better understanding of what they mean by shadows and lights. It's not the same thing as black and white. That's one of the things that I really appreciate too about digging deep into art. Before I really got into art, learning how it works from an insider's perspective, there are so many assumptions that I had that now I realize it's not correct. Another good example of this is Kevin recommends a book called Blue and Yellow Don't Make Green, I think is what the title of that book is. And when I read it and I realized how colors are actually made, or how colors actually manifest physically, like this is a matter of physics, of light and particles, and how the particles reflect light. When I realized how it actually works from a scientific point of view, I was like, oh, there's so many things I didn't understand before, and now that makes sense. And I have the feeling, though, that even though I think I understand it, I still don't understand it. Just like I thought I understood shadow and light the way that Kevin described it, but until I asked and clarified my questions on this cat assignment, I didn't realize what I didn't know. So that's fun. It's fun to learn new things and to stretch your brain, and to realize that you didn't understand something and now you do. And you're a smarter person. Anyways, so I really like these cats. They're so pretty. This is one of the assignments I was also looking forward to when I was looking up the Evolve curriculum. So the cats, the birds, what else was there? There was a the bunnies. Bird, bunny, and cat. Those were the assignments that I was looking most forward to, and now I get to do the cat, so I was really happy. And there are 2 cats. They're both the same color, but the shades on them are slightly different. And there's me busting out another small, I think number 2 paintbrush to do the reflection on the cat's ear. So I'm glad these were 2 black cats, though. If there were 2 white cats, it would have been more difficult. Also, I probably wouldn't have had that eye-opening, mind-blowing revelation where I finally understood the concept of shadow versus lights. Yeah, so that was a really good moment, this assignment. Fond memories of doing it. And now we're done with the first cat, now we're doing the second cat. I'm painting object to object again, not because I planned to split the paint session into two different ones. I think I did this all in one day. I tend to do all of my paintings in one day. It saves time from cleanup, but because it's easier to keep track of the gradients that I have to do and the reflections and highlights that I have to do when I do object to object rather than, you know, the entire painting at in one shot. So, yeah. Anyways, I think I've said all I need to say about how these cats work. I just like small animals for some reason. They are so graceful in terms of their movement and also the way the form, their shape, the way they look even when they're still. So I like cats. I don't have cats of my own though. I do have a dog and he's snoring. I don't know if you can hear that right now. Dog snores. But anyways, I have a friend who has a cat though. 2 cats actually, so maybe she would like this painting. Maybe I should make one for her. I like to keep my original painting so that I can see what my skill level was like when I first started and all the things that I did right and wrong, probably more wrong than right, but I think it might not be a bad idea to make a copy of this painting for her one day. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, so cats. I think I've talked about all of the interesting Evolve related topics as I was going through these videos. I guess you might be wondering, why do you make one video per assignment when other people do like summaries? They'll do block 1 summary or block 1 assignments 1 through 5, one video for that, and then 6 through 10, another video for that, so on and so forth. But I kind of like having one video per assignment because then I can see some of what I did before and also mention anything that that comes up. Although sometimes I forget to mention things in the videos, I try to make up for that by filling in the blanks in the blog. So you'll see the link to the blog at the end, and I also think in the description. But the nice thing about writing is that you can always add stuff later if you forgot to mention it before, whereas with videos you only have one shot to record the whatever you want to say about the painting, and then after that it's done, and if you think of something later, too bad. You'll have to fix it in either by re-uploading the entire video, and that's annoying. So I tend to be more of a writing person, but because this painting process is, you have to see it in order to understand what I'm talking about. So that's why I do a video plus a blog post, and I think those two things work pretty well together. Anyways, this cat is looking more and more three-dimensional now. Its face is all dark because it's in the shadow, unlike the other one that's facing towards the light. It's so interesting to see how light reacts with different objects, like these black objects, these black cats. One other thing that I had a question about that I asked the instructors was what to do for the background, because up till now we've been using an extreme shadow, moderate shadow mix to paint the background, the wall behind the objects. But these cats are black, so when I do a moderate shadow, extreme shadow mix for them, it kind of blends in a little bit, especially with some of the highlights on the shadow side of the cat. And I asked them, should I do a different color? And they're like, no, stick with the plan, stick with the process. I guess that's one of the lessons that you learn going through Evolve is always stick with a plan, stick with a process. Don't assume that you know better. So I went ahead and did extreme shadow, moderate shadow mix for the background, and yeah, it did kind of obscure, especially the cat on the left. His back is black, and then there's a little bit of a highlight there too, so that did melt into the background a little tiny bit, but it actually turned out better than I expected, as you shall see very soon. See over here, the back of the left-hand cat seems to blend in a little bit, but it turned out all right. You can still see the cat. I think the gradient on the horizon was terrible, though. I really should have redone that. But other than that, those are the 2 black cats. Hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful creative day, and I'll see you next time.